How can you describe locations and parts of space? Think about this question during the lesson. Points, lines, and planes are basic geometric concepts. Engineers and architects use these concepts in designing streets, buildings, and structures. What kinds of geometric figures do you see in this picture? You can see line segments, planes, squares, triangles, or other geometric figures in the picture of the building. A point is an exact location in space. How do you show a point? To show a point in space, you draw point C. Say point C. Write C. What is another way to describe what a point looks like? A dot is used to represent a point. When you see dots shown on a map, what do they represent? Points on a map represent the exact locations of cities. A line is a straight path of points that goes on forever in two directions. To symbolize and name a line, you draw line BC. Say line BC. Write line BC. Look at the picture. What feature on the building looks like a line? Lines can be represented by the edges of the building as well as other things you may have named in the picture. What in the drawing of the line shows you that it goes on forever in two directions? There are arrows at both ends, showing that the line continues on forever. How many points do you use to name a line? You use 2 points to name a line. What is another way to name this line? You can name a line by using any 2 points on the line in any order. So you could name it line CB or line BC. A plane is an endless flat surface. To symbolize and name a plane, you say plane LMN. Write LMN. Where in the classroom do you see examples of a plane? Some examples of planes in the classroom are the top of a desk, a wall, a door, or a sheet of paper. How many points do you use to name a plane? To name a plane, you use any 3 points in the plane in any order. What other ways can you name this plane? You can name the plane LNM, NLM, NML, MLN, or MNL. What is the difference in naming a point, line, and plane? You use 1 letter to name a point, 2 letters to identify a line, and 3 letters to identify a plane. You can describe locations and parts of space by using points, lines, and planes.
Hey, what's that for? I don't know. Hopscotch? Dear Tim and Moby, what are parallel and perpendicular lines? From Joe. Parallel lines are lines in the same plane that never intersect. They're always the same distance apart. Well, here, I'll show you. Hang on, I'm not going to cook this spaghetti. Just watch. We can think of these two sticks of dry pasta as lines, say lines A and B. Even if lines A and B were to continue on forever, they would never intersect or cross each other. So we say that lines A and B are parallel. We can call those lines C and D. If we extend lines C and D, we can see pretty quickly that they intersect. We can say that C and D are not parallel. Well, check this out. When a straight line crosses parallel lines, it's called a transversal. Where the lines meet, the adjacent angles add up to 180 degrees. And opposite angles are of equal measure. Yeah, neat, huh? So those are parallel lines. Perpendicular lines intersect to form a 90-degree or right angle. Here, lines F and G are perpendicular. See how all the angles formed are 90 degrees? Well, if two lines intersect without forming a right angle, they're just called intersecting lines. Yeah, that mysterious square you drew has examples of both parallel and perpendicular lines. The opposite sides are parallel, and the adjacent sides are perpendicular. You can find examples of perpendicular lines all over the place. The same goes for parallel lines. Okay, let me get this straight. You cut a hole in the floor, which interrupted the movie and will get me in trouble. Then you fell into the hole and can't get out. And now you want me to throw you a rope or something so you can get out and cut more holes in the floor? Interesting. I'll see you later.